Greetings and welcome to this week's in-depth video, where we will be taking a good look at the Mystic Elementalist. Let's just jump right into this. The Elementalist is a light-armored spellcasting scholar profession, who, as the name suggests, uses the elements to assail their foes in many unique ways. The trademark of the Elementalist is their ability to attune to the different elements. The attunements are fire, water, air, and earth. Fire attunement passively deals fire damage to anyone touching the caster, and grants you access to fire spells that are primarily area of effect and damage over time spells. Water attunement passively heals nearby allies, and grants access to water spells which focus on hindering foes in many different ways, and healing allies. Air attunement passively strikes nearby foes with lightning, and grants access to spells that are primarily focused on spike damage. And Earth Attunement passively increases your magical protection and grants access to spells that are mainly defensive. When you switch attunements, they are all put on a 10-second recharge, and the one you switched from is put on a 20-second recharge. So switch attunements with care. The skills available on your left 5 skills are dependent upon 2 things. Primarily, what weapon you have equipped, and secondarily, what element you are attuned to. The attunements provide a lot of flexibility in battle for the Elementalist. However, because of this, they can only have 1 weapon set available at a time, seeing as they have basically 4 different sets of skills per weapon because of these attunements. On a side note, for comparison, most professions can have 2 weapon sets at their disposal, so the Elementalist only having 1 is a little bit of a setback, though they way more than make up for it with their attunements. Since we're on the general subject of weapons, let's see what the Elementalist can wield. In the main hand, they can equip the Scepter and Dagger. In the offhand, they can equip the Focus and Dagger. The only two-handed weapon is the Staff. Any main hand weapon can go with any offhand weapon, so you can wield the Scepter Focus, Scepter Dagger, Dagger Focus, or Dagger Dagger. As you can see, there's not a whole lot in the way of weapons for them, but like I said, they more than make up for it with their attunements. First, let's go over their 4 special skill types. Those are area spells. These are Area of Effect or AoE spells. The Elementalist has a lot of them, making them a fantastic class to help control large areas of the battlefield. Moving on, Conjure spells. These are spells with which you can summon useful items and weapons that you or other party members can pick up and use in battle. Glyphs. Glyphs are spells that enhance or modify the natural power and abilities of the Elementalist. Examples of these later on. Signets. Signets provide a persistent buff to the Elementalist, and can also be activated for greater effect. Basically, they have a passive effect as well as an active effect. This is kind of hard to explain, but we'll get into them more a little later on. Let's actually get into the different weapon skills. Before we do that, however, I would just like to note one thing. There are a grand total of 3 Earth attunement skills revealed at this point. That's for all of the weapons. So they will get their own special section, and I will not have an Earth skills section when talking about each weapon, seeing as there, for most of them, aren't any. Let's start with the Scepter. Its fire attunement skills are Flame Burst. Burns enemies around you, recharges instantly. Drake's Breath. Sprays out a cone of fire, 6-second recharge. Fire Grab. Burns target foe, 15-second recharge. The Scepter's water attunement skills are Cone of Cold. Sprays out a cone of ice that damages foes, instant recharge. Healing Wave. Damages nearby foes while healing nearby allies. 15-second recharge. Armor of Frost. Gives you frosty armor, boosting your defenses and freezing surrounding enemies. 30-second recharge. Now for the air attunement. Lightning Whip. Damages nearby foes, recharges instantly. Shocking Aura. Surrounds yourself with electricity that stuns attackers. 20-second recharge. Finally, Ride the Lightning. Sends out an arcing burst of lightning to damage your target. 20-second recharge. Now for the Focus. Its fire attunement skills are Burning Speed. Sprints you forward, leaving a wall of fire along your path. 30-second recharge. Backdraft. Pulls your target toward you while burning them. 60-second recharge. The Focus water skills are Frozen Burst, This immobilizes nearby enemies on a 25-second recharge. Geyser creates a geyser that heals nearby allies, 20-second recharge. Finally, the air attunement skills are Windborne Speed, grant swiftness to yourself and nearby allies on a 15-second recharge. And Swirly Aura creates an aura that reflects projectiles back at their source, 40-second recharge. Moving on to the daggers. I apologize in advance for the format of this slide. But moving on, for their fire attunement, we have the main hand skills of Dragon's Claw, sends a spread of fire toward your enemy, instant recharge. Burning Retreat, rolls backwards, leaving a wall of fire along your path, 15-second recharge. Flame Wall, creates a wall of flame at target location, which burns enemies who cross it, 25-second recharge. On a side note, enemies entering the wall will be set on fire, as will projectiles passing through it. Many skills and abilities possessed by other professions will have an additional augmented effect when used in proximity to the flame wall. It's a very, very cool spell here. Moving on, the dagger fire attunement offhand skills are Dragon's Tooth, drops an explosive Dragon's Tooth on your target, 25-second recharge. Ring of Fire creates a circle of flame in target location, burning foes who cross it, 25-second recharge. Moving on to the water attunement for daggers. Main hand skills are Vapor Blade, strikes enemies along a line, instant recharge. Shatterstone drops an ice spike in target location that explodes, damaging all foes in the area, 4-second recharge. Frozen Ground slows enemies in target area, 45-second recharge. The offhand skills are Freezing Gust, chills your target for 5 seconds on a 30-second recharge. Ice Storm summons a storm of ice over a target area. For the air attunement, we have Arc Lightning, throws an arc of electricity at your foe, instant recharge. Lightning Field creates a field of lightning in target area to damage foes, 20-second recharge. Blinding Flash blinds your enemies with a flash of lightning. The offhand skills are Lightning Strike, stuns and blinds your target with a ball of lightning. Gale knocks down your target with a charged gust of wind, 45-second recharge. Finally, we have the Staff. The fire attunement skills are Fireball, launches a fireball at your target that explodes on impact, recharges instantly. Flame Strike, scorches your enemy, 8-second recharge. Lava Font, lava erupts at target location, 20-second recharge. Phoenix, now this one is cool. Here's a short video of what this thing does. Basically, it sends out a phoenix that chains from target to target, exploding on impact, and then returns to heal you. I absolutely love this spell. It is so cool. It has a 30-second recharge. Moving on, Meteor Shower. Calls down meteors in a target area, causing all enemies hit by it to get knocked down. 45-second recharge. Moving on to the water attunement for the staff. Those skills are Water Blast. Shoots a jet of water at your target that also heals allies within its blast radius. Instant recharge. Ice Shards. Hold and release to send out shards of ice to freeze your foes. 8-second recharge. Water Trident. Sends a burst of water toward your enemy that causes knockback on a 20-second recharge. Ice Spike. Summons a giant ice spike that crushes enemies. 20-second recharge. Healing Rain. Calls down a healing rain in targeted area. Heals all allies within it. 25-second recharge. Finally, for the air skills, Chain Lightning sends out a lightning bolt that chains between enemies in an area, recharges instantly. Lightning Surge, hold to charge for more damage. If it charges all the way, it also causes blind, 10-second recharge. Gust, knocks enemies back with bursts of air, 20-second recharge. Static Field, creates an electric field that dazes foes within it, 30-second recharge. Lightning Storm, creates a storm of lightning, if that wasn't obvious by the title. 30-second recharge. Finally, we have the 3 announced Earth attunement skills. Those are Churning Earth, a scepter charge skill that sends out earthen spikes, as seen in the video here. Next is Eruption, which destroys foes. That's all we know about this one. The last is Stone Flesh Aura, which turns your flesh to stone, and one would assume this would boost your defenses. Now for the other skills. Those break down into three main groups: Healing, Utility, and Elite. Let's talk about the healing skills first. These break down into two groups: General and Glyphs. The general healing skills are Aura of Restoration. This one heals the player every time they use a skill. I can't imagine that this would heal a whole lot for every skill used, but that's still great for a constant flow of healing. Ether Renewal. Hold down to expend energy to heal yourself. The two healing glyphs are Glyph of Elemental Harmony. This one heals you and gives you different boons depending on which element you are attuned to. Those boons are Might if you are attuned to fire, Swiftness if you are attuned to air, Regeneration if you are attuned to water, and Protection if you are attuned to earth. Only a 12-second recharge too. If you aren't sure what these terms mean, go and watch my Guild Wars 2 Weekly Episode 2, linked in the description. In that I go over all of the different effects in the game. That should clear up any confusion you may have. Anyways, the other healing glyph is Glyph of Healing, which simply heals you. The utility skills break down into 5 different groups: General, Conjure, Form, Glyph, and Signet. The 4 general skills are Bed of Coals. Sets the ground around you on fire. Energy Blast. Expends energy to deal damage. Hold down to increase power. 45-second recharge. Energy Shield. Surrounds yourself with a shield of energy that cuts all incoming damage by 50% on a 90-second recharge. And Lava Arrows. Shoots projectiles out in a cone in front of you. The 2 conjure spells are Conjure Flame. Creates 3 lava axes that allies can pick up and use, and Conjure Frost creates a frosty bow on a 45-second recharge. The only Form utility skill is Mist Form. This makes you invulnerable for 6 seconds on a 120-second recharge. Very cool. Moving on to the 3 glyphs. Glyph of Concentration. You cannot be knocked down, stunned, chilled, or launched while this glyph is active. That's just awesome. Glyph of Elemental Power. Makes all of your attacks critical for 10 seconds on a 105-second recharge. The last glyph is Glyph of Elemental Storage. This thing is awesome. What it does is let you store a skill that you can use in a different attunement. So you could store something like Chain Lightning and flip over to Fire Attunement and unleash Chain Lightning amongst fire spells. Very cool. Now for signets. We have Signet of Earth, which passively increases your armor and actively immobilizes your target. Signet of Fire, which passively gives you fury and actively burns your target. And Signet of Air, which passively gives you swiftness and actively blinds foes around your target. Finally, we have one of the coolest skills for the Elementalist, and that is the only elite skill that they've revealed so far, which is called Tornado. Yes, this skill actually turns you into a tornado and lets you move around, causing massive damage and launching enemies. It has a whopping 720-second recharge, but that almost seems worth it. Well, that wraps up our in-depth look at the Elementalist. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to tune in 2 weeks where we will take a good look at the Cunning Ranger. My name's Ulfury, and I'll see you then.